Good afternoon. My name is Samantha Garrido. I will be presenting mental health and child development amongst pre-adolescents. This is a program I want to develop in our school systems starting this following year. Mental health, this is our slide 2. Mental health is a topic that's easily described, however difficult to define. It's something that we regularly describe as sad, happy emotions. However, there's a deeper meaning to it. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, mental health is our emotional, psychological, social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. It helps determine how we handle stress related to others and making choices. In other words, this is something that affects how we act on a daily basis. Slide 3. Factors that affect an individual is family history, life experiences, and biologic factors. Family history is if a mother, a father, a sibling, most commonly seen in twins, have a mental illness, it increases the percentage of the child related to the individual to have a mental illness as well. Life experiences, since we are in a school setting, we're going to be looking at neglect, potentially the child's needs not being met, being ignored, all things that would affect a child to developing mental illness. The last one is biological factors such as gene and brain chemistry. So anything that alters the brain chemistry. One of the common things is in the past we had leads in our paints, and these leads led to toxics in the body of a child, altering their brain chemistry, leading to mental retardation. Slide 4. The most common mental illnesses disorders in pre-adolescents and adolescents is depression, anxiety, eating disorder, and attention deficit hyperdisorder. Depression is now a very common topic in schools. You might see a lot of letters going out currently because of the new TV show 13 Reasons Why. A child was depressed, committed suicide, so this is bringing a lot of awareness. However, it's also bringing a lot of popularity to it that we have to be looking out for. Slide 5 are the 2 theories I'm taking in consideration in this program. The biological theory is, as stated, it's one of the factors that lead into mental illnesses, and social theory, which is that mental illnesses is caused by social values. This is very common. We hear about it all the time. The female sees this perfect model in magazines, and she wants to have this perfect body. She turns into eating disorders, not eating, so she could achieve this body that's photoshopped. However, they're not aware of this at the moment. Other social theories, bringing back to 13 Reasons Why, this increased popularity in suicide because of this TV show. It's social values currently. My mission in this program is to improve understanding of mental illnesses during the pre-adolescence and adolescence years, as well as providing education for individuals to identify mental illnesses during its earliest stage. One of the common things that we need to know is the earliest that we could notice this person is suffering from mental illness, the soonest we could give them the treatment that they need. Not finding it at its earliest could lead to serious consequences. So this is one of my biggest, we need to learn. We have to watch for the signs. Sometimes it's not playing out for us to see. Sometimes it's little signs that we need to keep in mind. Slide 7. The goal of this program is students will understand the different types of mental illnesses, how to identify early warnings of mental illnesses. This is also important for parents as well as teachers and staff members to be aware something's wrong. And lastly, the importance of seeking help. Again, this is very a cultural thing as well. A lot of people are ashamed of not seeking for help, but it's really important to have somebody there to have treatment correctly. Slide 8, these are my objectives. I have a lot of objectives. By the end of this program, students will identify 4 major types of mental illnesses that affect pre-adolescents and adolescents. Students will identify 2 contributing factors to mental illnesses. Students will identify 2 verbal cues of mental illnesses, going back to we need to keep an eye out. There's verbal and nonverbal. Students will identify 1 behavioral cue of mental illness. Students will identify 1 environmental cue of mental illness. Students will demonstrate how to seek for help. Lastly, students will identify 2 crisis helplines. Currently, we have the planning and advisory meetings. This is slide 9. We have the superintendent because we need him here to provide the leadership of this program, organize it, and have somebody looking over us. We have the school nurse because we need to have people that are supporting the students and are well aware of this mental illnesses and they're educated to understand. Teaching staff because you are the eyes of the students. You will be there closest to the students, and the students more likely will come to you in case of them feeling depressed, not feeling well. Guidance counselor, again, because guidance counselors are there. Students will come up to them, speak to them, tell them about their problems currently, what is affecting them, things that might not be going well in their family. Parents, because we need to have as well eyes inside the schools and outside the schools. It's important that we have eyes on both ends. Sometimes you will not see it in schools, but they might be a change in how they come home. They might go to sleep early. They might have lack of appetite. They might not be behaving their normal selves, and parents are the ones that will understand my child is not acting the same as they usually do. School physicians, because they will be able to provide their medical expertise, do the correct referrals, have the educational knowledge needed. And lastly, the Mental Health Association of New Jersey, because outside sources will provide us with outside insights about different schools are providing this. Is there something different that we could do? Is there something that we're not doing correctly? Is there something that they have learned that could